Recovery and recharging process. Recovery process. What is recovery process? The recovery process in air conditioning involves safely removing refrigerants from the system for maintenance or disposal. Using a recovery machine, the refrigerant is extracted, filtered, and stored in a recovery cylinder to prevent environmental harm. First, always wear appropriate personal protective equipment (PPE) for safety before beginning a work, such as safety glasses, lab coat, glove, and safety shoes. Second, shut off the air conditioning system during the recovery process. Next, attach the low pressure charging hose, blue hose, to the extension service valve. After that, connect another end of the low pressure charging hose, blue hose, to the low side service port at the manifold gauge. From the center charging port on the manifold gauge, connect the refrigerant charging hose, yellow hose, to the filter dryer, which is connected to the intake port of the recovery machine. Next, attach the high pressure charging hose, red hose, to the outlet port of the recovery machine. Next, place the recovery tank on a scale and reset it to 0. Connect the other end of the high pressure charging hose, red hose, from the recovery machine to the vapor valve on the recovery tank and open the vapor valve. Adjust the blue knob to the vapor position, the black knob to recovery, and the red knob to open. Then turn on the power switch, set it to low pressure auto off, and begin the recovery process. Open the low side pressure hand valve on the manifold gauge to allow refrigerant gas to flow into the recovery machine. Let the recovery machine operate until it automatically shuts off. Once the machine has stopped, set the blue and black knobs to the purge position. After that, close the low side pressure hand valve on the manifold gauge. Then restart the recovery machine to ensure all refrigerant gas is drawn into the recovery tank. Note down the weight of the refrigerant gas vapor collected in the recovery tank after and compare the amount of vapor collected to the air conditioner label. And lastly, for the recovery process, close all valves and disconnect a refrigerant charging hose, yellow hose, from the recovery machine. That's all for recovery process. Next is the recharging process. What is recharging process? The recharging process is adding refrigerant to the system to ensure it works properly. This is done when the refrigerant level is low, causing the AC to lose cooling efficiency. For recharging process, firstly is connect the refrigerant charging hose, yellow hose, directly from the manifold gauge to the vapor valve on the recovery tank. Second, open the service valve extension at the air conditioning service port. Third, loosen the low pressure valve on the manifold gauge. Next, open the vapor valve on the recovery tank before the air conditioner is turned on to introduce a little gas vapor until the low pressure gauge needle on the manifold gauge jumps high. After that, close the low pressure hand valve on the manifold gauge briefly to restart the air conditioner. Turn on the air conditioner and proceed with the recharging process. As the air conditioner runs, the pressure on the manifold gauge needle will drop. Gradually and carefully introduce gas vapor into the compressor in controlled amounts until the required amount is reached. Next, monitor the weight of the recovery tank until it reaches 0, indicating all accumulated vapor has been fully removed. Once the process is complete, close all valves and disconnect all hoses from the service extension, manifold gauge, recovery machine and recovery tank. Lastly, after the recharging process is complete, carry out the cleaning process and arrange the equipment used in its place. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.